What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's official. We are back and we are better than ever. If you're a new viewer here, my name is Charlie and this is Surreal Stacks Poker. We're super excited for this one because we have a chance at making some serious money. We're going to be buying into the $600 buy-in, $2 million guarantee. Additionally, I have some great news for you folks. I just need a drum roll, please. We've officially been accepted as a media pass holder at the Borgata and other MGM properties, meaning I'll be able to take you folks along with the journey from start to finish. So if you like this sort of content, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. So now, the only question I have is, why am I still talking? Because we got a 3.5 hour drive, meaning we got to go. So come along with me.
Who's ready to play some poker?
Dealers, please shuffle up and deal.
We sit down and we're ready to play. In fact, we're eager to play. Maybe too eager, as the first hand we pick up, we play. The Queen 9 on the button, hand 1, level 1, and we're facing a raise from the hijack to 600. It's an easy call. As it folds around, we go heads up in an $1,800 pot. We have a good party hand and we're going to try to make something happen. But in the same regard, we're also not going to take it too far because it's hand 1, level 1. So when the flop comes out, Jack, Jack 8, 2 clubs, 1 diamond, not a bad flop for us. And that shouldn't really hit our opponent too hard. So when he leads out for 1,000, this is an easy call. Looking to hit a 10, a queen, or possibly a backdoor diamond. Now the pot's $3,800, so when the turn comes out, the king of diamonds, ooh, that just got interesting. Opponent checks it over to us. That king brings a lot of backdoor straight and flush cards, and it should connect well with him, so when he checks it over to us, I sense weakness. So we bet small, looking to represent a believable part of that board. And my opponent doesn't take too long and makes the call. Just like that, this pot ballooned to 70 big blinds, and we head to a river that completes my backdoor flush as the 4 diamonds peels off. Now, my opponent decides to take the lead for 4K. Given the dynamic and the way this hand was played, that's not good. What hands get played like this? Pocket kings, jack king, pocket eights, and missed clubs. Missed clubs on a pair board is unlikely because he wouldn't want to make a hand that's drawing dead. I basically have a bluff catcher, and that's not a bluff. Pocket kings are good. The opponent shows us the ace deuce of diamonds for the nut flush. So we both went backdoor. We both have a flush, but his is worth 150 big blinds. The next orbit goes by and we pick up the ace 10 in the small blind. Under the gun player raises to 800, the hijack calls and we complete a bet heading 3 ways to a flop of king, queen, 7 on a rainbow board. Now, it might look like we missed this, but actually, this is a great flop for us. We have the nut gutter to Broadway, disguised on a board that should connect with the pre-flop raiser. So we get implied odds to draw. Plus, we have an overcard to the board. So when the pre-flop aggressor makes it 1K and the hijack folds, we make the call. It would be nice to drill a jack on the turn, but either way, Fort Street will bring more information. So when the 4 of diamonds peels off, we check and our opponent elects to check, giving us a free card. That free card is going to be expensive for the villain as we drill the ace from space on the river and we lead out. The opponent makes a quick call and turns over the queen 10 and we show him the bad news. Ace.
Turn them up. Aces.
The next hand we play is the 10-9 of hearts in middle position as we face a raise of 600 and we make the call. In tournaments, especially early stages, you want to look at suited connectors like their aces. Small ball your way with a hand that can make disguised nutted hands. They have the most value early on as stack builders. We do end up going 4 ways to a board that's very sneaky for our hand, our type of flop, giving us immediate straight outs and backdoor opportunities. So now, the goal is to keep this pot manageable in size, so I can give myself a good price to draw out on my opponents. So, when everyone starts checking around, that tells us nobody has a monster, and we turn a gin card, giving us an up and down straight draw and backdoor flush draw. That's 7 flush outs, 8 outs to the nut straight, 15 outs total, meaning that we're gonna get there about 32% of the time, or we're a 2-to-1 underdog. Now, it checks to my opponent who decides to take a stab at it for 1200, giving me a 3-to-1 price on 2-to-1 odds. That's enough to make the call by itself. Additionally, we have implied odds, which puts me in a position to call or raise. I elect to call so that the action stays in behind me and we don't get blown off our hand, which has good equity. The player behind me calls and we go multi-way to a river card looking for some help in the form of an 8, a king, or a heart. And our wish was answered as the 4 of hearts completes my flush, giving us a made disguised hand in a pretty decent sized pot. The 4th Street Razor leads for a small bet, and we're faced with an option. I could smooth call here and hope to induce some action behind me, or I could pump it up now and signal to the whole table that I have a monster. If plan A fails, we miss a bet. So we decide to pump it up right here and right now. We polarize ourselves and raise to a full pot size bet. What this says to the table is I either have everything or I have nothing. The player behind us folds, and now it's on the aggressor to act.
I gotta be on stream later.
If you make the call. Our opponent correctly lays it down. I'm not sure if he had a real decision to make, but between my table talk and my checking the cards for the camera when the river came out, gee, I wonder what gave it away. At least we got some payback from the first backdoor flush hand that we lost with. And what do you know? The backdoor bandit strikes again. It seems like the tide is turning for us. We haven't picked up any premiums yet, so when we peel back cowboys in the big blind, we're caught off guard. And we're mid-conversation, so we proceed like nothing's interesting over here. Oh, you know, I'm just the big blinds. Nothing to worry about here. So we don't miss a beat, and when the action comes around, we decide that we're gonna take it uptown. Literally ran over that table like I've never seen anyone run over that table.
What, Detroit Lions fan?
Was that it?
No, that's Greg.
I don't know, man. He did the same
Mercier, I think, not Mercier. Greg Merson. Merson, I think, was one of the more interesting ones. Overcomes addiction. 6 months later, wins the main event. Well, despite our best efforts, we take it down pre-flop with no contest. You wait for kings all day, and finally, you get them, and the table folds around. That's why I don't wait for kings. I wait for my version of kings. Yup, you guessed it, the 7-6 suited, in early position, so I get to act first. You know, business as usual. So we make a raise to 1600. And it gets called in 2 places as we go 3 ways to a flop with the old 7 high. The idea here is to rep big cards on a high flop and to confuse folks when a low or middling flop comes out. And if the board gets ugly, we could bail out early on, no problem. So when the flop comes out, it's a bit of an interesting one, as I basically know I have the best hand, because it's really hard to just flop trips, and unless it was like a suited middling ace, I would think I would have got 3-bet pre-flop by any of the real aces. And everyone else is gonna be afraid of an ace. Plus, I have the 7, so I decide that I could bet basically with impunity. I'm immediately met with a jam in the face, as I could not be more wrong. But for 5K, I just have to pay it off and wonder, why am I like this? Hope you have a flush draw.
No, I don't.
Ace is good.
I don't have an ace either.
And 7's still good.
I don't have a 7 either.
I was gonna stop guessing, I guess. We were just a recipient of a proper punt, and we couldn't be more grateful that we actually got it in ahead. A few hands go by and we peel back the king deuce of diamonds. Now to you, that might be a fold, but to me, I see a case of suited king theory in action. I'm in the cutoff and we raise and get called by the button and the big blind. We're going 3 ways to the flop of 9-9 deuce, which is actually a good flop for our hand. And on a dry board like this, I like to go 75% pot and bet 3,500. A big bet. That should get the job done right here. The button snap calls me and the big blind folds. That's alarming. A snap call could mean a big draw. I'm thinking maybe spades. So when no spades peel off on the turn, I have the green light to fire big. And that's what I do, expecting to end this hand right here. We have fold equity, showdown value, and we have a flush draw. So we decide on a bet of 7,000, aiming to get credit for a value bet. But my opponent doesn't immediately fold. In fact, he starts carving out raising chips. That's not good. Now my deuces are crushed. My deuce outs are crushed. I probably don't have flush outs or king outs. We have to be drawing dead. So I get my hand caught in a cookie jar and do my own version of a proper punt.
What did I just get myself into?
Oof, that one stung a bit, but we move forward. Although, that whole hand could have been avoided if I just would have folded pre-flop like I'm supposed to. Anyway, here we pick up the 6-7 of diamonds. We limp under the gun, the button raises to 1,700. The action folds around to us, and we make the call for 1,200 more. Standard all around. When the flop comes out, queen, 9, 6, with 1 diamond, we check in game flow. Now our opponent stabs at it for 2,200. This could be king, queen. This could be ace, queen. This could be 9s, 10s, jacks. That all makes sense with the line that he took, but there could be a lot of hands that whiff this flop too. So I decide to make the call to keep him honest and give myself some unorthodox plays down the road that I could win the pot with. Plus, I have bottom pair. We have backdoor opportunities, and there's a lot of cards that can improve our hand. The 8 of diamonds is definitely one of those cards, as it brings in both my straight and my flush outs. So when the villain bets 4,000, we're getting 3-1 with 16 outs, 12 of which should be clean. All diamonds, all 5s. So naturally, we decide to make the call and brace for the incoming river, which is a 10. We get there, but it also brings all jacks along with us. So I check, prepared to call a bet, and my opponent checks behind. Ugh, I hate it when that happens. We miss the bet. You have to build value with your strong hands, and you can't be afraid of monsters under the bed. I'm certain I'm good when I turn over my cards, right? I take a closer look across the table, and I have to squint to see the bad news, as the villain tabled 10 jack of diamonds and somehow found a check behind. 2 big hands in a row.
Good diamonds?
Oh, yeah.
That's why you can never be too careful.
We're coming off of 2 big back-to-back pots that we just lost, so we need to slow our roll down just a bit. We're in the small blind, and we pick up ace-9 offsuit. We face a raise of 1,200, and with just 800 left for us to complete the bet, we make the call. So we go heads up to a flop of king 8-6 rainbow, completely whiffing us. We check it over to the villain, who bets 1,200 into a 3K pot. Seems a little fishy to me. I don't give him credit for a king. We're gonna peel one off, looking for an ace or a 9. But also, a 7, 5, or 4 should be scare cards that we could represent down the road. The turn brings a queen, not what we were looking for. So we check, and the villain quickly checks behind. Maybe that's weakness I could pounce on. The river brings a 5 of clubs. I have an ace of clubs, that's the nut blocker. So why not take a stab at it? I decide to lead for 2,200, targeting hands that miss and trying to buy the pot for cheap. Well, instead, we just donate another one of our table mates some chips as he calls and he turns over the ace-8. Of course, the one hand I have dominated pre-flop. Shortly after that hand, we pick up the king-jack in the small blind. Now, we have an awkward spot. I have 14.5 big blinds. Too much to jam, but too little to just call. Our stack size is right in between, and I'm getting a discount. So, here I decided to just complete the call and go heads up to a flop. A promising flop at that. of 8, Queen, 10, giving us an open-ended to Broadway. We check, and the villain bets 3,100. A perfect bet. Any more, and I would fold. Any less, and I jam. Just good enough to give me the right price to call, so I do make the call. We head to the turn card looking for an ace or a 9 to make the nuts. Unfortunately, the turn card blanks for us. I check it over, and the villain thinks about it and jams, playing his hand perfectly, denying my equity and forcing me to fold a huge draw. The tournament goes on break, and I go and grab a sandwich and come back to just 1/5 of a starting stack, so we have some work to do. We come back to ace 9, and we should just jam this, but instead, we take a flop that goes check check. And then the turn comes out and goes check check. And when the board pairs on the rivered 7, I'm pretty sure my ace high is good. So I check it over, and my opponent throws a 5K chip in the pot. That's a fishy bet. Why check check? Plus, this was the same villain from the king deuce hand. And what's he saying that he has? Sometimes you just need to take a stand. And I'm tired of getting bullied by this guy. And I'm sick of losing pots. If he had a monster, he would just put me all in. At best, he has an ace to chop. Everyone loves a good hero call. So I put in 2/3 of my stack, and the villain turns over the 7-8. Just in case one full house wasn't enough, he's got both of them. Well, that was a pot that I could not afford to lose. I'm left with just 2 big blinds. I crippled myself as the blinds are coming around. We pick up the king-queen offsuit, and here goes. I'm gonna say this with my chest, maybe get people to fold.
All in.
I'm all in.
Oh my god. Happy folding.
I know it's scary, right? Get a little rumble in the voice, a little bit of rumble.
26.
1,000.
26. I don't want to double you up.
It would be a triple.
26 divided by 6.
That's a good one. Like 3.4.
You're for sure, I think I should go. 30, 26. 26, okay.
Do the right thing.
How many blues do you have?
She has 1 blue.
One blue?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The only one left. I sold my ace.
Ooh, that's good for me. A 10 and only a 10. Oh, that's not good for me.
Your score is not good enough.
Thought that was a 10. Nice hand. All right, folks. I'll probably see you guys back. Good luck, everybody.
Text, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, it's there for you.
Be in touch, brother.
Sounds good. Yep.
Yeah.